Okay, welcome. So I've had this toolkit for many years, and I'm gonna open these up and look at them. But this is like a dual sport toolkit, and then for my two-stroke, I carry them in here, and they're slightly different. Run and move, so I don't take tire irons or any tire changing junk. All of my T7s or dual sports, they get a Leatherman, and then the T7 needs the 19 millimeter hex, and you can grab this with crescent wrench or whatever you want. So what's new with my system here, I'm always evolving and slightly getting better, right? Continuous improvement is the tire tool, so we'll get to that in a second. But this one's a little bit thinner now that I've moved a bunch of the tire tools out. So kind of my main system is I've got this, and on my website foxymoto.com there's links if you go to recommended gear. And so you've got this breaker bar and an extension, and then once you loosen the bolt, you can get rid of the breaker bar and just spin it with a screwdriver, and you got all the hex, right? Like, why would you carry this in your bag, right? Like, that's kind of stupid. And then I've got Torx, a flat, and I've got some bigger Torx coming. I've got a 45 and a 50 Torx coming. So that's kind of cool. And then another big part of this is, like, if you've got an axle nut or you got something that's really hard to get off, right? I can put these together, get some leverage. I can step on it, I can kick it, I can hit it with a rock, whatever. So that's good. And then these are not cheap. These are the Nipix, really high quality steel and design. And with these two buggers, you can do just about anything. I use those all the time. And then with the 1/4-inch drivers, I've got a lot of the sockets. I got a 3/8 adapter. Let's just open this a little bit more. I've even got, this is pretty cool, I forget what these are called, but these needles will go through just about anything, and you can really press them in. It's supposed to have this little guard to protect the sharpness. I guess I got a hose clamp, and this is just epoxy putty. Saved my buddy a couple weeks ago. Put a hole in his case. And then this I can put, you know, fasteners and all sorts of stuff. These are mostly for adjusting the chain, but I've got like 10 through 13, 14. Got metal zip ties, plastic zip ties. I got a little bit of wire for electrical. I've got a little screwdriver. It's nice for, you know, minor prying. If you need major prying, get into your spoons. I've got a little plastic pry bar, and then this is a little razor blade. Healthy amount of zip ties. So in here, got some gloves. Can't go anywhere without wire. And then this is just really tough string for that. Okay, and here I've got butt connectors, fuses, some heat shrink stuff. Okay, field chain tool. And then here's a master link. It looks like there's maybe 2 or 3 of them in there. Some blue Loctite. This is radiator hose tape. Never actually used that, but it's a measuring stick. This is gaffer tape. So And then the new kit, tire repair. So gloves, right? Like these are a little thicker gloves. I don't think I've ever done a project with these thinner gloves and not broken them. So I got this brass rod. It's great for prying, punching. You can get your axle out, all sorts of different uses. And then I've got the KTM style tire spoons, so they have different sizes. So like a 12 and a 10 and a 27 and 17 air gauge. And then the Motion Pro bead breakers, you can put those together and break the bead. I've got the long steel ones in my saddlebag, Sharpie marking tubes or whatever, and I've got some tire lube, tire mounting lube, just a little bit, and some CO2 canisters, rim guard. I actually never use them, I just scratch my rims, and then some plug kits. My T1200 does plugs, and then I've got a little bit of sandpaper, lots of plugs, gloves, and in here I've got extra valve cores, extra valve covers, including a valve remover, a scraper. That blue thing is a knife, a blade. And a lot of this stuff came from the Tusk kit. So I've got patches, and this is the fish. That looks like another remover, another cap. So if you're pulling the valve stem through the rim, that's super handy. You're just undid one side of the tire and you're pulling the tube out, and you patch the tube, you put it back in. Instead of taking the entire tire off, sometimes you can just fix the tube, and then like with my big hands, I don't have room to jack with it, so I can just pull it through with that. And then a tiny bead buddy, in case you're by yourself. You can use your knees and stuff. And then I've got, I thought I had 2 of these. Oh yeah, I put it in the glove. Some rubber cement compound. The vulcanizing is preferred. And what I did is I put some packing tape around it to protect it, because tools or whatever puncture this, and then you've got glue all over the place. So that's kind of why I put it in there. And then a valve core remover. So that's kind of a quick intro. You know, like everybody wants to sell you a toolkit, but I just don't think they're really mechanics, right? They're like for people that just want to buy a kit and pretend to be a fixer. You know, like learn to work on your stuff and build your own kit, my opinion. So thanks for tuning in, and God bless. Take care.